Arsenal fans, it is finally time that we have some conversations that people have been begging for. I'm seeing two sides of the argument when it comes to people looking at this Arsenal team. One side are saying, do you know what? This is unbelievable. Top of the league. The lead keeps on increasing. And the other side are like, what are you talking about? Arsenal are losing all their opportunities. The manager's not good enough. The forwards are rubbish. Sack the manager. So let's have some sensible, uncomfortable conversations around this team, because I do think there is something we can do that truly transforms the way this Arsenal team play. Look, we're playing Inter Milan tomorrow, so we have a massive chance to try a few different things out, because I think there's a certain way that we can approach this game that helps us in the Premier League, because we all know after that, again, we have a massive game against Manchester United, a team that's just coming into form, so we need to have that in the back of our mind when we're having some of these conversations. Very quickly though, I want you to help me out. Hit like and subscribe and get in the comments section and let me know your Arsenal versus Inter Milan score. If anyone gets it right, then in the breakdown video after the game, I'll give you a shout out. In our last game, no one got the correct score prediction. So see if you can be the one in this video. Get down below. So the decision I'm seeing people want to see made is the midfield position. I'm seeing so much frustration and anger directed towards Martin Ødegaard that it's kind of a conversation that we can't ignore anymore. People, let me know your thoughts on Martin Ødegaard. Are you one of the guys that say this guy has to be dropped? Because I'm hearing some big claims from some people. I get it. People have the right to be frustrated with some of the performances recently, but I'm hearing people say, sell this guy, strip him of the captaincy. It has to go to Declan Rice. All I would say to that is, Declan Rice was also on the pitch against Nottingham Forest. So what difference does it make giving Declan Rice the armband? Like, he still was vocal in that game. He's still a leader. I'm not disputing the fact that Declan Rice would be a fantastic captain for Arsenal. But what does stripping the captaincy of Martin Ødegaard and giving it to Declan Rice actually mean? But let's focus on this game, because the argument I'm seeing is we have to play Eze in this game. And look, I agree, but I'm not sure if Eze is the answer in the Premier League. I would like to see it. Look, Eze's had some great performances so far. Tottenham, of course, will always be the standout one. If you go into your first North London derby and you score a hat-trick, you will rightly be applauded. And that's exactly what Eze was. Since then, though, if we're being fair, he's slightly gone off the boil. He's had a few chances to affect games. Now, in the last game, I see the frustration of people saying, look, you got 10, 15 minutes. It's not long enough to stamp your authority on a game. I slightly disagree with that. I think that's more than enough time to show, at least, that you deserve to start there on the next game. I think because Ødegaard in that game was poor, I will give people that. Eze didn't really come on and be that transformation that most people were hoping for, because I was seeing it. People saying, wait till Eze comes on. You're going to see a difference. Eze did come on and we didn't see that much of a difference, if I'm being fair. Now, look, for me, that position is still open. I don't think there's anyone in this team who has truly grabbed that position by the scruff of the neck and said, no, listen, this is my position. You have to win it back. I don't think Ødegaard's done that. I don't think Eze's done that. Marino's played that position sometimes. He's scored some goals and been okay. Nwaneri's had his chances. For me, if anyone wants to truly own that position going forward, I still think there's an opportunity. It will be difficult to wrestle it away from the Arsenal captain, but Mikel Arteta showed by his substitutions that he doesn't care if you're the captain. If he sees better for the team that you be off the pitch, then I think he's more than willing to do that. His substitutions, his team sheets at times has shown that. So what do you guys do going forward? Do you say Ødegaard's had his chances, now we just have to focus on Eze? I'm okay with that now. Now, I have said in recent weeks and months, no, let's still see how Ødegaard gets on. He's had some good performances. He's had some goals. But at the moment, his level isn't at that level that I would be hoping. So if you do need to rotate that to keep it fresh and keep that competition, which we've seen benefits in other positions from having that competition. I'm thinking at that left wing position, certainly the fullbacks, fine. Freshen it up, put Eze in, give him a chance. Let's go through Inter Milan, because it's a difficult game. What do you do for that game? Look, I'll be totally honest with people. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze by going out there and playing your strongest team and then knackering them out for Manchester United on the weekend. Some people won't agree with me. I've seen some people saying, what are you talking about? You can't go over to Inter Milan and play a weakened team. I absolutely can, in fact, and I'm willing to take that risk of losing if it means Arsenal stay strong in the Premier League, because I still think our second team is strong enough to go over there and beat Inter Milan. Look, they're a great team. They've had some good results in the Champions League this season. But if I'm being fair, every time they've stepped up to face one of those A-class clubs, they've lost. Just listen to some of the teams Inter Milan have beaten in the Champions League this season and make your own mind up if Arsenal need to go over there and play full strength to beat them. Ajax, Slavia Praha, Union SG, Carrier Almaty. Those are the 4 wins that Inter Milan have. When they've stepped up to Atletico Madrid, they've lost. At home to Liverpool, they lost. So again, look, I'm not saying this is a rubbish team. Arsenal should play the kids and the B team and we can go over there and batter them 4-0. That's not what I'm saying. But I think going over there, playing a B team and walking away with a draw, there is no shame whatsoever in that. Again, I'm sure people would want to win the game to keep the momentum, but I don't think that would be a massive factor in going to Man United. I would rather have the full first team rested and none of them players played against Inter and have them fresher for Man United than winning that game 1-0 by stressing your A team out, your best team going over there playing Saka, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Gyökeres again, Saliba, Gabriel, picking up in it. It's just like the juice, most certainly for me, isn't worth the squeeze. Again, I want to know if people agree with me on this. The team I would play is pretty much the same team that we played against Portsmouth. And people might be thinking Portsmouth are not Inter Milan. But look at some of the players Arsenal had in that team still. If you play your second team, look, the only one I don't play is Kepa. I stick with Raya in goal. And then I go, get your team selection in the comment section because I know everyone's going to have a different team. I go, Raya, Ben White, Mosquera was on the bench for the last game, so let's play him at Inter Milan and see how he gets on. If he can play 45 minutes, great. You might already be 3-0 up by that point, and then you can bring someone else, Norgard, into defence maybe, and shuffle the midfield around. Mosquera, you probably have to play Gabriel because of the injuries we've got to Nketiah and others. And then at left back, I play Miles Lewis-Skelly. It's kind of like a free hit with Miles Lewis-Skelly. Timber, the past couple of performances at left back haven't been, oh my God, this is unbelievable. What do we do with Calafiori and Nketiah when he comes back? He's kind of left the door ajar to where it's like, yeah, it's a free hit with Lewis-Skelly. If you play him and he plays really well, well, then you've got another option against Manchester United or going forward in the Premier League. If he's not very good and he shows a performance that he's been doing a few times this season where he's maybe slightly lackluster, then fine, you can switch back to Yuri and Timber for the United game. So I absolutely play Lewis-Skelly in this one. In midfield, again, I massively rotate. I go either Norgard or Marino, and then I go Eze and Nwaneri. Still was strong enough, technical enough, attacking midfield. You're talking about Marino and Eze. Nwaneri, one of the brightest prospects in world football. Why wouldn't that work away at Inter Milan? It would. Madueke, unbelievable player. We've seen he can score goals in the Champions League. Rest Saka for Man United. On the left, Martinelli. This guy is close to the top of the Champions League scorers. Like, he's not far behind. He's 1 goal behind Haaland and Osimhen. Martinelli thrives in the Champions League. Allow this guy to go for the golden boot because he's in a position where if we go deep, he has that chance. Look, Mbappe, no one might catch him. But Martinelli absolutely deserves to start this game for me, and he plays well when he's partnered with Gabriel Jesus at top. People say, you can't play your second team, but when you actually go through some of them players, you realise most of these second team Arsenal players would start for most Champions League teams. Tell me a Champions League team that wouldn't take Marino, Eze, Madueke, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Lewis-Skelly, some unbelievable players that are good enough to go there 100% and get a decent result. In terms of a score prediction, I would go there, play that team, and I would be expecting Arsenal to win 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised with a 1-1 either. But my score prediction for this game is Arsenal to win 2-1. It just depends what Mikel Arteta does with this team. Because I just wouldn't risk any of these players. If he plays Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, I'm going to be not stressed or disappointed, but I'm going to be thinking you are increasing the chances of injury, because all of these guys are going to be playing against Man United because they feature in your best team. We bought this squad for a reason. So in my opinion, this is the perfect opportunity to lose it. Arsenal can lose this game and still win the Champions League. That's why I'm thinking it's not worth the risk. Arsenal have beat some unbelievable teams this season in the Champions League. You think Athletic Bilbao, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Club Brugge away from home, and still we've only conceded 1 goal. 17 goals scored, 1 goal conceded, undefeated in the Champions League. We will progress through not having to play a knockout game. A qualifier for sure. If you finish top 2, you're still going through with the fact you can still lose this game and win the Champions League just proves to me that you don't have to risk most of your first team. But again, I will keep doing the breakdown, and I am going live tomorrow on TikTok an hour before the game. So make sure you head over to my TikTok tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time to tune into that. But let me know your thoughts on the game and everything you've heard in this video. Do you swap Martin Ødegaard for Eze going forward? And what's your score prediction for the Inter game? Thank you so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could do me a quick favour, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.